Shalom, Rabbi Galit.
Shalom, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. Yes, so am I.
Okay, Reba's here. Albert's here, Barbara's here. Yay. Okay. Marvin's here. Okay. Shalom, Rita. שבת כולנו גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת כולנו גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת כולנו גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת כולנו גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת כולנו גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת כולנו גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת כולנו גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, 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 שבת כולנו גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת כולנו גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת כולנו גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת כולנו גם יחד. Behold how good and how pleasant it is when all of us dwell together. The Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMivorach. Praised be the one to whom our praise is due. Baruch Adonai HaMivorach Leolam Vaed. Praised be the one to whom our praise is due, now and forever. Your love has embraced us always, in wilderness and promised land, in good times and in bad. Night and day your Torah sustains us, reviving the spirit, delighting the heart, informing the soul, opening the eyes, granting us a glimpse of eternity. Because of your love, we shall embrace Torah night and day in devotion and delight. Beloved are you, Adonai, whose Torah reflects your love. The Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Listen, Israel. Adonai is our God. Adonai is one. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, with all your mind. Set these words which I command you on this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Ellen is here. And welcome, Arleta. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. Thus you will become holy to your God. I, Adonai, am your God who brought you out of Egypt to be your God. I, Adonai, am your God. Adonai Elohechem emet. Adonai your God is true. Micha mocha. like you, Adonai, among all that is worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? O God, you are a consolation to your creatures, for in moments of forgetting, we but call to mind your care, and we are comforted. When we hope no more, a pattern in the snow reminds us of your loving kindness. Your dawns give us confidence, and sleep is a friend. You are here. We fail words to say, Ma Tov. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Yitgedal v'yitkedash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra kirutei, ve'amlik malchutei, b'chai yekon u'v'yom yekon, u'v'chai kol beit Yisrael, bagala bagala, u'v'zman kariv, v'meru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach, le'alam u'l'almei amaya yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal, shemei dekudisha b'richu, le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nekemata, damiran be'alma v'meru amen. The Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chastei Avot ve'Imahot, u'Mevii Geula livnei v'neihem, leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mekayem hakol, atah rav lehoshia, morid atah. Mekayem kaim bechesed, Mekayem hakol berakanim rabim, Somei profunim verofei cholim, u'matir asurim, u'mekayem emunato l'shenei afar, ki kamocha b'giburot, u'midomei melech memit, u'mechayeh, u'matzniach yeshua. V'ne'eman atah le'achayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekayeh hakol. take this moment now to say your own private prayer from your heart silently. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ועל כל יושבי תבל ואימרו אמן. ערב טוב, אמי. Shalom. The Torah portion this week is, move stuff aside here. There we go. Matot Maseh, which is the last two chapters in the book of Numbers. And just read you a little summary of the, this is Matot Maseh in a nutshell. Moses conveys this is not the part I will be reading, but Moses conveys the laws governing the annulment of vows to the heads of the tribes of Israel. War is waged against Midian for their role in plotting the moral destruction of Israel, and the Torah gives a detailed account of the war spoils and how they were allocated among the people, the warriors, the Levites, and the high priest. The tribes of Reuben and Gad, later joined by half the tribe of Manasseh, asked for the lands east of the Jordan as their portion in the promised land, these being prime pasture land for their cattle. Moses is initially angered by the request, but subsequently agrees on the condition that they first join and lead in Israel's conquest of the lands of west of the Jordan. They're also kind of the signal fire troops in case anyone attacked from the east. The 42 journeys and encampments of Israel are listed, from the Exodus to their encampment on the plains of Moab, across the river from the land of Canaan. The boundaries of the promised land are given, and the cities of refuge are designated as havens and places of exile for inadvertent murderers. The daughters of Tzalachahad marry within their own tribe of Manasseh, so that the estate which they inherit from their father should not pass to the province of another tribe. That was one of the conditions of their demand that they gain their father's inheritance. Okay, but we're going to stipulate. So what I will be reading is not the entire first Aliyah, because that's, believe it or not, 2.5 pages long. I will be reading the first 3 verses of the Aliyah. Numbers chapter 33, verse 50 through 52. You can unmute, Ellen. We missed you the last couple of weeks with your amen.
Thank you. I missed it too very much.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Habarak Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, venatan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe be'arvot Moav, al Yarden Yerecho lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael ve'amarta alehem, ki atem ovrim et Hayarden el Eretz Canaan, vehorashtem et kol yoshvei haaretz mipnechem, ve'ibadtem et kol mashkitam, ve'et kol tzalmei Masechotam te'abedu, ve'et kol bamotam tashmidu.
Tashmidu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amy says, Shalom, Ellen and Princess Jinoki, wherever you are.
Shalom, Amy. Meow, meow.
Is that a reference to Jimmy Durante?
Good point.
Mrs. Calabash. Okay, this is what I read. In the steppes of Moab, at the Jordan near Jericho, Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the Israelite people and say to them, When you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, you shall dispossess all the inhabitants of the land, you shall destroy all their figured objects, idols, you shall destroy all their molten images, more idols, and you shall demolish all their cult places. Altars, I guess. And he says it'll be a walk in the park, and I'll just sweep them all aside. The fun part of this Torah portion is Zelophehad's daughters. At least to me, that's the feminist section. The last episode in the book of Numbers is devoted entirely to the case of Machla, Tirzah, Hogla, Milcah, and Noah, I guess. In one sense, their story seeks to resolve a potential crossing of boundaries in a book particularly concerned with setting boundaries, because the daughters' land risks being transferred to another tribe. In another sense, the story of these 5 sisters forms a counterpoint to stories about the 5 women in Exodus 1 and 2, who rescued Israelite children, the midwives, Shipra and Puah, Moses' unnamed mother, later identified as Jochebed. That's the name that Charlton Heston couldn't pronounce, so they called her Yoshabel in the movie. Moses' unnamed sister, later identified as Miriam. And Pharaoh's unnamed daughter, although there is no more than a literary connection between these two groups of women, the framing of Israel's journey as a whole with stories of women creates a symbolic symmetry. In Numbers 27, the 5 daughters were granted the right to inherit their dead father's land with no strings attached. In this parsha, at the urging of the leaders of the clan, and in order to protect it from losing the land permanently, Moses proclaims a new law that requires the women to marry only within their clan or tribe. That was the big stipulation there. Verse 6, the instructions are not clear as to whether the husband must come from the clan or can be anyone in the larger tribe. Whereas the legal resolution concludes the book of Numbers, it does not conclude the story of Machlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah. The problem with the land being transferred to another tribe, it's interesting that they are the tribe of, did I say Manasseh? I think I did.
Yes, you did.
That half of the tribe of Manasseh was the one that was designated to be able to live east of the Jordan. I wonder which half. Did it include the sisters? The clan leaders of the 5 sisters point out a potential problem. Granting land to the sisters might mean the loss of the land to the Manasseh tribe if the women marry men from other tribes and their shares become parts of their husbands' tribes. The transfer of land from one tribe to another would then violate the divine command that prescribes that each tribe possesses its land permanently. That didn't last permanently, did it?
But Rabbi, wasn't there another point that because the men were promised, the ones who were staying on this side of the Jordan, they were not going to cross into Canaan, the women were going to be left alone to be in charge of the land, which was pretty new, I would say.
Absolutely, that's right. But they were also going to be the first responders to any attack.
Yeah. But the women are suddenly, once the fact that they gave the land to the 5 daughters of Sepharad, the fact that they did that, and the fact that now they were going into the land, they weren't going to be moving anymore. They had to protect the land. They had to conquer the land. They had to toil the land. They also need, especially the ones who were staying and the men were going over to protect the new land. They had to be able to work the land to protect it. Plus, if the men were fighting in Canaan, the women had to be able to protect and work the land also, especially at the beginning.
Well, trust me, I wouldn't mind Hogla and Tirzah and the rest of them.
Oh, I agree, but to me, it's different.
You know, they didn't come and bow down to Moses and say, "Oh, please, would you do this for us?"
You're right.
They said, "This is what we want."
Yeah, right. They stood up. They were the first women to live, I guess. Yeah.
I love those 5 women. They were really cool.
Yeah.
Trying to see if they had any mention of that, because but I do remember you're mentioning that. I do remember when you mentioned that I'd heard that too. They had to stay and till the soil and
take care of the crops and the flocks and so forth.
If you ever if you anybody saw 1776, where the women, when they not Thomas, but the other two, I forgot, not Benjamin Franklin, I forgot his name. The women had to stay behind and work the land because they were doing the Congress.
Right.
To start. And it reminds me, when I read this, it reminded me of that story where the women suddenly were in charge. And when they wanted something that they needed for the household, and they said, look, we're saving this land for you. You have to get us this. It was pins. And and he said, it's not so important. He said, but wait a minute, we're here trying to make saltpeter and all this stuff. So you have to remember that even though you think we're not doing our part, we are.
That's right. There is, in the book that I have, and I love the girls who want it. No, that's not, I can't find it. I'm going to keep looking. But when you think about it, it's these were pioneer women, just as the pioneer women of our own country. That they were, in fact, my grandmother was one. Was a pioneer woman. Amy was having techno hell, which happens to all of us, unfortunately. Okay. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתגעים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Ours is the duty to praise the all-sovereign, to honor the artist of creation who made us unique in the human family with a destiny all our own. For this, we bend our knees and bow with gratitude before the sovereign almighty monarch of all, the wellspring of holiness and blessing. Shemo ekad, Israel shall be one, and God's name shall be one. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. And my list today is just getting really long. Thomas, Amy met a young man, I guess, who broke his wrist. So we're saying Misha Berach for Thomas. A friend of mine, Lou Moskowitz, I haven't heard from him whether he's going to have heart surgery or not. I'll have to call him and find out. And welcome, Gail. And welcome, Roland. I'm glad you guys are here. My friends Tosca Lees, Sally Glauser, and Charlotte Gay, Alex and Sarah Rosenzweig, Ellen, Rose, Tova Chana Bat Perel, Yoel Ben Tova Chana, Ejeh Ozman, Yohevet Rosov Bar and Seth Robert Bar and their friend Tzvi Ben Leib, Etta Bat Gittel, Ada Bat Chanya, Robert Stein and Andrea Greboff, Rachel Bat Benjamin, Moshe Lazar Ben Chana and his wife, Ziona Bat Chava, Chava Bat Elsa, Yosef Ben Albert and his family, Batya Malka Bat Perel Chaya, Menashe Ben Menachem, Roland and Judy Hansen, Shendel Bat Sharon, Chana Bat Shendel, all the COVID-19 victims, all the monkeypox victims, all the sufferers of Guillain-Barré syndrome, the Ukrainian people and their defense forces, the families and the friends of all the shootings that are continuously going on, and the women of the United States. That includes my list. That concludes my list. So gotta go back up here. And Arleta said, please say Misha Berach and Refuah Shalema to you, Arleta Freire, de Lima. I've been to Lima, by the way. Albert is praying for Valerie, Aaron, and to your son, Alan Freire de Lima. For Albert, Valerie, Aaron, Maddie, Trey, Malcolm, Mayo, Rose, Amy, Tova, Beth and her father, Rabbi Galit, Albert, our loved ones and our loving pets. Gail is praying for Brianda W. Roland said thank you. Thank you. Gail is praying for Bill M. and family. Sephora says everyone suffering from PTSD. I totally agree. Ellen Rose, do you already?
No, I didn't say. Thank you. All those who are suffering physically and emotionally. Alexandra Bat Aurora, Lenny Bat Alexandra, Marlene Bat Chaya, Jenny Bat Nina, Julius Ben Nora, Rabbi Galit, Amy, Beth, Marvin, Tova, Ziona and her mom.
Thank you. Marvin. Marvin, do you have anybody that you?
Nobody.
He
tonight.
realizes.
I didn't hear it.
I said nobody tonight.
Nobody, okay. Amy.
Okay, Pam Hazel, you, Janice, Albert Madison, my twin brother, Valerie Madison, Maddie, Beth and her dad, Tova, Kathy and Lynn Ford, my cousin Harry, Carol, Ellen Rose, Ellen Frieden, Marvin, Jesse, Jane, Jamie and Danny, Alex, Sarah, Linda, and that person in the restaurant, his name is Thomas, and he wasn't really, he said he was 30, but I don't believe him. So
Okay. Reba sends healing energy throughout the universe. Ellen Friedman.
Yes, Timothy Paul Taylor, Diane Fishman, Ellen Rose.
Okay. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, a renewal of body, a renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion, for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen. Rofei HaCholim. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals the sick. And the Mourner's Kaddish. This list has grown a bit today, too. I got a notification from Rabbi Blaine that one of our colleagues, Rabbi Barbara Steinberg, passed away. Paul Sorvino, one of my favorite actors. He's not only an actor, he is a sculptor, an opera singer, a horse rescuer, and a grocer. And a teen heartthrob that I didn't know, although we were in the same school, Tony Dow. Wally on Leave It to Beaver.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Love that show.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I guess from his obituary and what people were saying about him, he really was Wally. I mean, it was that's what he was like. Yeah, liver cancer. Bummer.
Did-
And someone I liked but didn't get along with. A member of my community. He was the president of my former congregation and one of the reasons I had to resign. He died. His name is Ron Yaffe. Died yesterday. And a lot of mixed feelings in there. My friend Terry Humphrey, my husband Sharon Ben Avraham LaSara, the millions of coronavirus victims, all the victims of all the gun violence and the racial injustice all over the world. The Ukrainians and the Russians killed in Putin's war. Gail Pittman is saying Kaddish for Bonnie M. Start with Ellen again. Ellen Rose.
Okay, thank you. All those who have nobody to say Kaddish for them, all those who have died by gun violence. Thank you.
And Ellen Friedman.
Yes, Laura Frick and Alan Brown.
Okay. Reba, do you have anybody special or just
No names today, thanks.
just Tony Dow?
Everyone, yeah, everyone.
Those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. I know. Amy.
Yes, ma'am. And Mr. Bob, as I used to call him, Tony Dow, the poor Wally, I don't know. Robert Bieber, Ledry, Robin George, Daryl, Edward, Richard Enclave, Francis Johnson, Jose, Laura Frick, and Linda, and all those people that are killed in all the unnecessary gun violence.
Marvin.
Francis Johnson.
Okay. Please join me in the Mourner's Kaddish, everyone.
Well, let's go.
Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadash,
Kadash, Shamei, Rabba,
Yalma,
Balima, Kadash, Cherry of Hurricane, Malkutai, Hurricane, Birkekon, Bekaye, Dekop of Israel, Bagalav, Bisman, Kari, Bimru, Amen. Yeheshme, Rabba, Mavrach, Leolom, Velme, Elamei, Ayah. Vitorach, Vistar, Vitoram, Vistase, Vidar, Vitolel, Vitolel, Shmei, Birka, Birifu, Leola, Kol, Birkata, Bashirata, Tushkata, Vinekamata, Tamiram, Elma, the Ember, Amen. Yehesh, Marla, Min, Shemaya, Yakayim, Elena, Vioko, Israel, Vimra, Amen. Oh, say shalom in Ramah. Oh, yes, say shalom. Elena, Vioko, Yisrael, Vioko, Yoshe, Tever, Vimra.
Amen.
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 Oh, say shalom imamah. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru amen. Oh, say shalom imamah. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. everybody. Erev Tov, Laila Tov, Boker Tov to
Yes.
Reba.
Reba, right.
And
Yeah. Have a good day, Reba.
Yeah,
Have a
you
good day.
too.
It's already Friday over there.
Yeah, it's Friday here.
evening.
Yeah,
It's
Shabbat
good.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat shalom,
Reba.
And Shabbat Shalom or Shavua Tov if I don't see you.
Yeah.
Shavua
And
Tov,
Miss Ellen
Shapura,
Rose, you behave yourself. I'm watching you.
Amy, Marvin.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, Darabah, Rabbi.
Everybody stay healthy. That's all it is.
Amen. Amen. Shavua
That
Tov.
means you, Missy.
Love you all.
Love you too, Rabbi.